Hello, everybody. I'm Jason, the Wizard of Ops, and with me, as always, is Jay, aka Dark Matter. Jay, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Wiz. The weather's starting to turn here. It's not like constantly freezing. We're getting some days above 50 degrees, so that makes me a happy camper. But otherwise, doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Yeah, the snow's melting and stuff. It was good. Had the old wrestling tournament, but President's Day was yesterday.
Yeah.
Today, for all us Catholics out there, it is Mardi Gras. So get in your last sin before Lent begins. So here we go.
Are you heading down to Bourbon Street? Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. Carnival, baby. No, I'm a little old for that junk nowadays, but
Oh, come on. You're young and
yeah, it's
able to
time
still
to
party, I'm sure. A
it's
little bit
time to
of
head
a
to
little bit of
Bourbon
rum and
Street.
coke.
Time to head to Bourbon Street before it's underwater. All right.
Ah.
Um. All right. So Jay, tell me, what do you got?
Yeah, let's jump in. I guess maybe we'll do a quick recap of last week. You and I both had, kind of our sights set on 6,800 getting retested last week. And, once we had that, a little bit of a reversion to occur out of that. And the entire week was just kind of interesting, in my opinion. I think if we go back here in time for just a little bit, we'll take a look here. The previous weekly high up here was, we went up pretty high. We almost tested about 20 points shy of the all-time high. I think a couple of data points came out there. And then we sold off coming out of, GDP numbers and job numbers. The market started getting a little bit scared there. And then Thursday was kind of that big drop, coming right out of our nice short entry here above 69.75. If I remember wisely last week, that was our entry for shorts. And we kind of nailed that. And from there, we went and tested 6,800 on the week, held that low and pushed up a little bit. But we can see we are a little bit underwater here coming out in the new week. But your thoughts just last week and how we're prime going into this week?
Yeah, I mean, last week was kind of what we expected. I mean, it seemed a little violent back down to 6,800. It happened a day earlier than I thought. I thought it would be there around Friday, but this is OPEX week, so that 7,000 is going to be strong, and I think that overall, I think we'll still kind of stay in the range approaching Thursday, and March. It's time to start preparing for March. So
100%. And well, let's kind of look into that. So this week's event catalyst, I mean, kind of looking at it, you do have a little bit more heavy on the European side of the data. A lot of the European countries reporting their manufacturing PMI, flash services PMI. But as we look at stateside here, we do have, today, or I would say today is just Empire State, but tomorrow we've got our durable goods orders. We've got pending home sales. And then as we go into Friday, we've got core PCE and some advanced GDP quarter over quarter numbers. And then our flash manufacturing and services PMIs as well, and new home sales. So a lot more data to see how the economy is kind of faring here. And any thoughts on this week's economic calendar, Wiz?
yeah, I mean, I like OPEX weeks where we don't have an FOMC meeting. That seems to happen like every other month.
Yeah, I agree.
Every other month we seem to have like an FOMC meeting on OPEX. I think Friday, it's not shown here, but Friday allegedly is the Supreme Court decision that's been pushed back several times. But I remember reading somewhere, I think this Friday, they're finally going to release that opinion. And I was thinking, well, hopefully they release it after 9:30. Because now they're going to what? It's going to be like a down to the wire. Is your options going to expire before? Are your options going to expire before the Supreme Court decision? So,
oh, geez, that's going to be an interesting dynamic if that does occur.
yeah,
Yeah,
like that
wow.
Thursday AM thing. I was like, And so what I did was I sold all my Friday options, all my AM options. So I would get out of it. You don't want to, close Thursday being like, oh yeah, my call spread is safely in there for like 100 points, and then you wake up and you're like, what?
Yeah, you're underwater as fast as you could blink there.
Yeah, you're sitting there at 9 o'clock, ready for the market to open, and then gone. There goes everything.
How's the like the volatility skew looking for this week then? Are we kind of pricing some of that in, or what's the
An
data on your
excellent
side
question.
showing?
Let me get back to you on that one.
All right. Well, while you pulled that up, I'm going to quickly take a look at earnings here. Nothing really outstanding. I would say the only call out I would have here is obviously Walmart is a big one. And I want to also toot our horn here, Wiz. We did last week call, for about a 125 low in Walmart. I think we got exactly like 125 and change in Walmart last week. And we pushed up to what we thought we would into that negative Vanna band there at about roughly 132 and change, I believe, is where Walmart. Let me just quickly take a look here. But we were trading as of Friday, just north of $134. So its earnings this Thursday. Again, to me, Walmart's just the pulse of the economy, how the consumer is doing. So that is why that is important. And I think the other one, I'm just kind of curious how this used car market is going. Interest rates are still crazy. People are paying crazy amounts, right, for car loans. I'm really just curiosity's peaking for me here how Carvana does. Your thoughts?
Royal Gold, and Equinox Gold. It seems like there's a lot of gold stuff going on, mining and stuff. Wednesday after the close, I mean, gold has shot up a lot, and so I'm just curious to see how those companies fared. Actually, before you go back to your trade plan, I thought it'd be a good idea to show everybody how to check the event vol using Volland. So
yeah, let's go.
So let's check it out. Go to the 3D vol chart. You need to
right here.
make that max and click the three dots. To edit, and just do like 0 to 30 day or this week.
This week, all right.
Yeah.
Done.
So save changes. You see now here, if you rotate it a little bit, the line there on that far left is, you see there's a little bit of event fall there. You try to line it up so that you can kind of see across all four. You see right there, a little bit more to the right. Okay, the other way. I don't know. We're rotating. I shouldn't have used right and left.
There we go.
But you can see right there, the skew is a lot higher out of the money there. So there is some event vol priced. Looks like at the extremes, you're looking at about like 0.04, something like that, of implied volatility higher to what it is on Thursday. So that's interesting how that the Supreme Court decision does have a little bit of event vol in it. And that's actually now, if you really want to, I don't want to say gamble, but but if you really want to try your, all that has to happen is if you are selling the AM options and buying the PM options, all that has to happen for you to make a lot of money is the Supreme Court releases their decision after like around 9:30, 10 o'clock. Now, I used to work for the government, and these Supreme Court justices are government employees. You'd be shocked if they're in the office at 11. That might be a good. It might be a good thing to do. And once that once you're sold options, once they settle, sell your other options. So you have to be sitting there at the computer with the mouse, being like, waiting for that settlement. Click. But anyway, or you don't click and the market whipsaws and you have long options that are fully paid for. maybe might be good. Might be a good. Might be a good day.
That's yeah. I mean, I'm thank you for raising it. I've been waiting for this Supreme Court decision. To your point earlier, I think it's been delayed what 2 or 3 times so far.
Which also means that if you do that move that I just suggested, selling the AM, buying the PM, and they delay again, let's say they delay again, you're like the whole implied volatility structure will come down, but you'll still be paid for. Like the big danger, I think, in that one is the Supreme Court releasing before. So like doing like a put and call calendar, like a almost like it's not a box, but I don't know what you would call that, like a split put call calendar at the money, like Thursday right before the close.
I think I might now have to. I might have to actually look into this now, Wiz.
I'm probably gonna do it.
Logically, as a lotto, it sounds like a great idea. To be quite honest, especially considering you don't know what to.
Like 9:45. What government employee do you know is in at work at 9:45?
Well, especially during OPEX, right? You just have these whipsaws, and we clearly have seen it in futures action the past 2 sessions, or past 2 evenings, I should say. So, with that, let's jump in and let's look at some of our key levels for this week. So, let me just bounce back over here.
Oh, hold on. Was there news? News was just released. Like futures have shot up just now.
Yeah, they did go up about 40 points here.
Yeah.
Not normal. Let's take a look here.
Not typical. Japanese GDP numbers? Like what's going on here?
I think there's some Iran news. We've reached an understanding on main principles with the U.S. That's the closest thing I've found. Yeah, it's Iran.
Iran is ready to consider compromises to reach a nuclear deal with the U.S. if the Americans are willing to discuss lifting sanctions.
Well, your new partner, Financial Juice here. 2 parties still have topics to which they still need to work. The 2 parties will work on potential agreement documents and exchange them. Talks were constructive. So, a little bit of ease of volatility from Iran. I mean, for those of you who maybe weren't paying close attention, I guess over the weekend there has been extra news, rumors of a military presence and getting ready to attack Iran. So I, for one, don't like war. So hopefully they've figured it out amongst each other.
Figure it out. There we go.
Figure it out. So there. Be honest, I think it's Iran. It seems like where we're getting this this bump.
Yeah, something with Iran. All right, well, there you go.
There you go. Well,
it's still range bound. I mean, that's how I see it. It's still range bound.
Well, I mean, getting into the levels here, we from some of our. I'm just pulling up my charts here, but 68.35 is what I had as dealer control here. Between Vanna and Gamma, it just kind of rotate, and we've kind of seen that. We in overnight futures on Monday, while the market was off, we did hit a high of 68.75. We got about 5 points short of one of my upside transition levels, and from there it was just complete death. We lost about 70 plus points in the ES and futures. What it's quite funny is when you look at this level, for those who are in the volume profile here, that is basically, if we look at our charts here, that is your weekly value area low from last week. So here's your value area. What that just means is we are rejecting going into last week's value area, essentially, and that, Vanna and Gamma level here, 68.75, continues to play a role in that as well. So when I see a combination like this, Wiz, where I've got Volland and, from a charting and volume profile, is a very strong trade to take, right? And you kind of saw it. We came in here, couple points shy of that 75 projection, sold right back down. And then we just rotated through those key levels, 50, 45, 35, 25, and then 6,800. So it's quite funny for the session being closed. We essentially rotated through all of our key levels up and down with.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's American session that's closed. What's open is Europe, and Europe has a lot of market making, especially in London. A lot of market making entities over there. Not many in Asia. So I think that's why, like, you know, when markets open at like 6 o'clock or, you know, 6 p.m. Eastern time or whatever it is, 6:30, there's not really much activity until like 2, 3 in the morning when you're still awake hoping for it. And that's, you know, I think that's like the Europe Open is when you probably in your overnight trading make decent money. So
I mean, usually in that early night, you might get like one burst. I call it the quick burst, right? And then after that, to your point, you consolidate. There's a lot of fake outs that occur. I think I even call one out from Sunday evening. You know, just be careful of the fake breakouts and breakdowns. And we got one of those, but you're right. The activity gets a lot more interesting once Europeans are awake. Bless our European allies for their volumes that they bring. Let's look at. That's right. Let's just jump into Vanna here. Take a look at this week's Vanna. Let me just back out and look at the exposure. Right, so we are in a negative Vanna for regime. Call it for this week. You know, not by a lot, but by quite a bit, right? Both tails of this are showing negative, so that's why you have a little bit of that downward pressure. I would then even say as we get into it, 6750 this is a target I'm looking at on the week for potential support and bounce, but I want to see how it reacts. And I think, you know, to the upside, for me, you know, originally this looked a little bit different even Sunday night. You know, that's why we got up to 68.75. But if you kind of look at this ridge here, it's going to be a tough one without volatility compressing down and getting us over it. But as soon as you get above, you know, 7,000 basically, like you're again in negative Vanna here, right? And to your point, that's going to be a big level as we go into OPEX to see how it reacts and trades. But let me go into the strike charts. Anything you want to add in there, Wiz?
No, I think, I mean, overall that's 7,000, a big red line, right? Not that
one.
This
is 6,900 and this is 7,000.
I think that we're probably going to be stuck range bound between the little support that we have below us. If that breaks, that's where I want to see any kind of reaction. Like when 67, what is that? 6750. 50.
Yep.
And if that breaks, then you know we could shoot fast. But I don't think it'll break. But I think it could be tested. And if it tests and maybe there's another Iran, you know, thing or Supreme Court thing or something like that, if that tests, that'd be interesting to me. I don't think we will get above 7,000. There is no catalyst with enough strength to do that unless the Supreme Court says, you know, tariffs are 100% illegal or something. I don't know, like what they could say. It is here. We're at gamma, positive gamma all the way up. It's pretty safe, I think, if you want to sell call verticals above 7,000, at least for the week. Probably not going to get a lot of money now, but if there's like a little bit of bump up, you might get a shekel or two, right? So I think it's pretty safe above 7,000. I think that you know, in any kind of, I would say almost like for the week, you might get some sell the rip activity. You know, that's probably what you're going to do, and you're going to stay in this range. More likely to break to the downside than to the upside. You know, maybe you'll get above that 6,900 area, but if you do, that's a great opportunity to start selling call verticals above 7,000. So I think that's the play really is neutral Maybe, most likely neutral to fading down a little bit because of the negative Vanna. But, if you want to play, very safe and you want to go outside this week, sell those call verticals above 7,000 when you see a pop.
I'm 100% with you. I think it's another, as you said, sell any rips as they occur. I mean, if you even look at it on the weekly, just to kind of see how OPEX plays out, you're starting to get into on the weekly even these kind of big negative gamma levels, right? And again, for those new or maybe live under a rock here, this doesn't mean a support or resistance, just means the acceleration once we enter into these negative gamma levels will be quick and fast, right? And that's why I think ultimately if you start to see us break below 6,800, we've tested it a couple times here, shot below 6,800 in futures, but you get that, you do that in regular trading hours, it's going to sustain that push and it's going to keep pushing it down. So that's just something to keep in mind. I would be careful with longing out of 6,800 in regular trading hours. That would not be my move at this point anymore after how many times it's been tested, but to each his own. If we jump into intraday here, go ahead.
Yeah, negative gamma. I mean, I don't know what you would call the opposite of support. I always called it like permissiveness. Maybe we'll call it the deadbeat dad. There's no support, but
now that one's going on our short. All right.
I don't know. That was the first thought that came to my head. It's like, it's a deadbeat dad for me. But yeah, like that's. I mean, this is what I'm saying is, the downside we can accelerate through. It's, I would not be selling put verticals, but selling call verticals above 7,000. That's probably a pretty safe play.
Yeah, agreed. Kind of a little bit of a similar blueprint as last week as well.
Yeah, our producer doesn't like my categorization.
Well, I pull up 0DTE here. For those who are viewing us, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. And then, Wiz never does this, and I have to do this now so that we can get our gospels out to the masses. And if you are on X, don't forget to like our beautiful stream there as well. But Wiz, if I go into today's 0DTE charm, clearly very similar story here as well, right? There's a little bit pockets of negative charm here. You see 6,800 holding, but then, to the upside, 6,840 here is clearly resistance. And we've seen that area get rejected a few times, this zone. So, ultimately, to me, if I'm looking at this, 6770, 6760, let's see how the opening bell goes. But this is essentially your kind of range you're looking at here intraday, unless again volatility either compresses and we go chase 6,900, or we increase volatility and we chase some of the positive charm that's over here. But your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little early to start talking 0DTE, but I always kind of now look like the delta decay with gamma next to it, because then it shows you the actual buying and selling. Yeah, and right there, you're kind of looking, I guess, a little even right now, right?
You are.
Yeah, but I think that at this point in time, if we start selling off, it's going to go fast. I mean, I think we need to break above that last big red bar in order to really try to break out to the upside. What is that, 68? What?
40.
Yeah, so all right, 68. I can't see that. It's like looks very small. I can't see the.
It is my resolution, so apologies. So I'll read out the labels for you.
Yeah, but like above that strike, I think we can maybe make like a small breakout, but I don't think we're going to get there. I think this is again much more likely to sell off than to rally today and pretty much for the week.
Yeah, and if we even take a look at that, I'll go to the gamma here as well for you. We take a look at gamma. I mean,
Yeah. You have to break out above that big green bar in order to have any chance at breaking out. And I don't think we're getting there.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, look at 68.20 here. This is 68.40. I mean, clearly 68.40 is an important level here intraday. And then, you
and the path
look
of least resistance down.
Yep.
So
100%.
So yeah, if you don't like try to figure out what those what's that large red that's to the left there?
This is 67.70 and 67.60. Mm-hmm.
I mean, IV is a little high, but I'm not saying bold call yet, but it might be an area to if you want to do a little experimental lotto put, that might be a decent area to
yeah. I mean, I was eyeing this. So for me, at least, the way I look at it, I'm not going to buy 0 DTE. This is why I always buy, either 1 DTE or by end of week, right? You can then capture that move, but you obviously want to be buying it a little bit higher in price, which is we're near a zone of that. So I'm with you. I think it's coming. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah. What's that? How much does that cost right now?
Let me take a look. Go look at the option chain here. You want the ES or the SPX? I'm probably assuming the SPX.
SPX is always liquid, so.
You want the what expiration? Weekly? Today, your 6,800 strike, for example, is worth 1950. And then your 67.70 strike, as another example, is 1180.
1180. That's too much. I wouldn't do that.
It's cool.
Wait a little while. Wait a little while.
You got to let a little bit of that volatility come down, I think, and that's what it's trying to do here. Yeah. Give it a little bit, one extra zing push up, and then I think you can, that's a good lotto then at that point. Yeah. All right. That's basically what I have here. Let me just make sure we didn't miss anything. I think we talked about our key levels here throughout the week, what we're looking for. So I'm good. Any questions or comments? Yeah, and I hope by that time, Wiz, you hit the like and subscribe button and, did all that fun stuff, right?
Yeah,
you smash that like, right?
I never say that. I have to say that I'm so bad at all social media, but also just as a side note, every other Tuesday I do a subs chat where I go through like decent, I go through SPX pretty thoroughly and kind of talk about possible trade ideas, trades that I have on, stuff like that. I do swing trading. I'm not 0 DTE, but we have plenty of 0 DTE traders in the Discord. Volland can seem kind of overwhelming at first, but you have a lot of help. Go to www.vollanddiscord.com, come into the room, ask questions. This is, data-backed, scientifically vetted data. We get it directly from the exchange. We all our mapping is to actually trade by trade data that's being made available today. So yeah, I mean that's overall that's this is the real deal when it comes to dealer positioning and dealer flow edge. So yeah, take the Volland Academy course too, vol.land/academy. It's free. And it talks all about like what Volland does, how the market makers look at the Greeks, how we should trade. It gives you some of my better trade plans, or my favorites anyway. And yeah, there's a wealth of data here, and there's a lot of knowledge here. So join the community. We're also very respectful. I have to always add that. I can't stand going into like Wall Street bets and people are, F-bombing all over the place and calling each other names. It's like trolls with trolls. It's, I can't stand that. But Yeah. So I
They're
mean,
clearly not liking the hidden subscribe button. So
yeah, no, they're not the ones smashing my like and subscribe. So, so anyway, yeah, come on in. Yeah. So when I said every Tuesday, we have subscribers only, or every other Tuesday, one of those is tonight at 4 p.m. So come on in, subscribe, and get a view of Volland. Get on a trade or two that'll make you some money. Then subscribe, join the sub pages, and learn. And you'll realize that this is the edge that you've always been expecting from dealer positioning services that they haven't been able to deliver. So come on in. And yeah, I guess, Jay, do you have anything else before I close this out?
I don't have anything else, but I think we might have a comment there. You want to
we have
take a look at that one?
Comments coming up. All right. So Vanna, negative to the upside, resisting the rise, acts as a repellent. That's right. Positive to the upside, acts as a magnet. That is exactly correct. When it if it's positive, and implied volatility will come down. I mean, at the end of the week, all of those options are going to be 0 IV, right? Because it's expired. There is no more volatility when it's expired. It's just done. So implied volatility is going to come down pretty fast for all of those options. You need to have an accurate view of what the dealer book looks like in order to know exactly where to target an end of week pin or areas of interest. You can't really pin it today, but when you look at Vanna for the rest of the week, you could see here's a big positive one. It could go up there, but if Iran strikes a deal, it'll come down, it'll go over here. If Iran doesn't strike a deal and it strikes a ship instead, and then there's different places where it can go. But yeah, I mean, this is how we trade here. And another thing I have to say is I think this room, and you could tell me, Jay, our Discord has probably the most per capita profitable retail traders than other Discords that I've seen. And I've been in a bunch of Discords, and there's not as it's not even to me, it's not even close to that. Yeah. And these results pages, I mean, there's some people who post losses every now and again. And you kind of look at those results pages, that at least me, I look at them and I'm like, everybody's only showing when they win. But a lot of people make some money.
I mean, but I would think, it's all about your overall consistency, right? Anyone who tells you they're batting at 100%, laugh at them, call them out, right? That is just clearly not happening as a group, right? We can all say that. Might have poor executions on a given day, right? The levels might be there, but you have a poor execution day. Mentally, you're not there, but you'll see here consistently, a lot of our traders in Discord, they back what they do here. And, some do this for a living, some do it as an extra income, right? But ultimately you can see that consistency that goes up and down here and, throughout all of our readers.
Do we have Oil Royal? Keep going up.
Did that get saved here? I was actually looking for that for everyone who do you want to give that background for a little bit while I try to look for
it?
Sure.
All right. I made a bold call, I guess a month ago or so, and somebody put in a lot of money. There was a little bit more than a lotto, right? A lot more than I would have put in, right? Than I did put in. And in the swing, it was the day that Trump. What did he do? Oh, he announced that he didn't want to conquer Greenland anymore. And,
yes.
And it shot up, and I made that bold call 20 minutes before, and he made $3 million, and then it dropped. He only ended up making 800,000. But I was sitting there going the whole time, everybody in the room was like, sell. I don't care, just get out of that. You made enough. Went from negative 90% in the month to positive 700.
Yeah, I don't think it's in this channel, but We
Yeah.
all witnessed it. It's a real story. We'll maybe have to pull it up here and refresh it, but it happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Most of the people that come out that post, it's like, it's the one thing I will say about our community. We are not big, apparently, on testimonials and posting their good results. There's like a lot of people, but I think it's kind of also like how they say when you score a touchdown, act like you've been there. I think that's
Yep.
kind of how everybody feels now. So it's like,
Well, you don't have to
nobody's
be
posting.
braggy, is how I look at that, right? It's kind of like the people who have, wealth or success don't always flaunt it, right?
Right,
So
right.
that's
Yeah, like
my opinion.
Warren Buffett is still living in his like home he bought in the 60s or whatever.
And he buys his McDonald's breakfast every day, right? As he goes to
Yeah.
the office. Same $4 meal, whatever inflation is now. I know it was previously a $2 meal, but
Yeah. Cutting into his costs, man. Cutting into that
yeah,
income.
man. That's why he had to go cash.
Yeah. Yeah, Vano, the opposite to the downside. Is that correct? Yeah, that's you're generally yes. But yeah, it's the positive Vana ones are magnets and the negative ones repel. And if you break over a negative one somehow, usually it requires a catalyst or a massive sometimes vol up spot up is usually kind of how you can advance over those, but you're not going to get that on OPEX. So
Yeah,
volatility will always be down. So going over 7,000 is highly unlikely. I think unless we get a catalyst, that's
yeah, and for the group here,
that's gonna
just kind of
hold.
looking at the positive Vanas or negative Vanas, like if
Mhm.
you're looking at price comes into this zone here, what is volatility doing at that point in time, right? It is not what it was doing an hour ago, 2 hours ago, but as we enter into these levels, the whole concept is we should start to see volatility compress, right? Suppress, whatever word you want to use there. If you don't see that, then then you're going to start chasing further downstream here, right? Into further negative van in this case, right? So that is how, just a little extra tidbit on top of what Wiz just said there, and to add to his vol up and spot down kind of scenario, that's exactly it, right? How is volatility hitting or acting as we hit these key kind of big strikes here?
Right. All right. That's all I got. Thank you, everybody, and may Volland help you in your future trading ventures.